Good evening. Six News can confirm there are ongoing talks within the Queensland Labor Party about replacing Annastacia Palaszczuk as Premier, possibly before the end of the year. Labor currently trails the LNP in polls less than 12 months out from the state election, and some within the party believe Palaszczuk has to go if they want to win. Six News political editor Roman McKinnon has the latest exclusive details from Brisbane.
328 days out from the Queensland state election, reports are right now circulating that Annastacia Palaszczuk may be replaced as Premier, and Six News can confirm that there are indeed talks within the Labor Party about it. Six News understands talks about removing Palaszczuk have been ongoing for quite some time, but they have ramped up in the past 72 hours, with Nine reporting that senior figures within Labor are working to have the Premier removed because they believe she cannot win the next election. One Labor source has told Six News that the party has no chance of winning if Annastacia Palaszczuk remains Premier, while another believes the party is f***ed either way, and a third believes there's no way for disgruntled members to mount a challenge. Despite the reports, the Premier says her team is focused on other things.
What type of car would you compare your leadership to?
Well, if you go back, I started in with a Tarago. I had 7 members of Parliament, Tim. 7 members all those years ago. We built it up to 8 to 9 and over 3 elections to 52. I know what it was like to be in that Tarago. But now we're driving the bus, and the bus is definitely fully focused on what we need to do for Queenslanders.
Palaszczuk was first elected in 2015 and re-elected in 2017 and 2020, but support has dropped in the past 12 months. The latest YouGov poll shows the LNP with a 52-48 two-party preferred lead and an advantage of 8% over the ALP on primary vote. The 2024 Queensland state election will be held on October 26.
Hundreds of calls have been made to emergency services after storms lashed New South Wales. RFS crews were out in force assisting the SES amid storms in parts of the state, including in the Berry area, where trees came down on power lines. One man was rescued by the SES after he tried to drive through floodwaters in the eastern Sydney suburb of Randwick. According to the ABC, the nearest official weather station near Nowra showed wind gusts of 54 kilometres per hour at around 6:30 last night. Wong has repeated the federal government's call for all remaining hostages to be released by Hamas. The foreign minister says it is essential that vital humanitarian assistance reaches those in need. Quote, "This means safe, unimpeded and sustained humanitarian access in Gaza and safe passage for civilians." She added that Australia wants to see the next steps taken towards a sustainable ceasefire, but it cannot be one-sided. More than 240 people, including Israelis and foreign nationals, were taken to Gaza on October 7, with more than 100 released since. Over 174 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes since the ceasefire ended, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Since October 7, more than 15,000 Palestinians and 1,200 Israelis have been killed. The cross-examination of Brittany Higgins will continue on Tuesday amid Bruce Lehman's defamation case against Network 10. Although the trial is being live-streamed online, Six News cannot show you any video from inside the court or even a screenshot. Six News GovCheck editor Stuart Jeffrey explains.
This is covered under the Court Security Act of 2013. In Section 39, it's unlawful to record anything on the premises and publish it without the consent of the court. It's a power that's not rarely, it's not commonly used. It's a very rare power to see. In particular, it's been used by the court a lot on Twitter over this case. There's not many other uses apart from that. We do have a couple of uses. The family courts used it a couple of times because they've got their own provisions as well, but also they use Section 39 as well. We are seeing a lot more things put online from the court. Of course, there hasn't been a problem in the past because you've got to actually bring a physical camera in, but now, of course, you can record it on your phone and put that up. So it is a thing we're seeing more and more often. And given how many cases we're seeing that are, online now, often being streamed online, it's something that we're going to see probably a few blurred lines there. Like, at what point is it authorized or not authorized? And the Act actually says one or more still or moving images. So exactly, you're right, screenshotting there. This this case, I don't think, is being broadcast, because when it has been broadcast in the past, other cases that have been broadcast, it's not going to be an issue because the court's already putting stuff out there, unless you're trying to republish that. But even then, it's not really covered in Section 39. It's taking your own material itself. So if the court decides to start streaming more and more judgments, at that point, we will see this probably used less and less. It's being used particularly right now because, of course, you do have such a controversial trial going on right now that we're seeing a lot of people trying to, to take their own recordings and their own screenshots and use that themselves on Twitter. It's actually been directed at news media or at parties to a case that are taking their own footage. It's not often used in this context. And again, the more the courts move their own things online, do their own streaming, it'll be used less and less.
North Korea says any interference with its satellite operations will be considered a declaration of war. The nation says it successfully launched its first military spy satellite on November 21, and if the USA interfered with the satellites, it would retaliate. Citing a statement from North Korea's Defense Ministry spokesperson, state media KCNA said the DPRK would consider taking responsive action measures for self-defense to undermine or destroy the viability of the US spy satellites. Kim Jong-un celebrated the spy satellite last month as a new era of space power. Well, we're almost at the end of 2023, and in 2024, 6 News will be bringing you even more programs, live coverage and news bulletins on the hour. It's all part of our ongoing commitment to independent and impartial reporting. National Affairs Editor Austin Pollock has more.
Well, in 2024, 6 News will continue to be here for you, bringing you independent and unbiased 24/7 news coverage. There will continue to be news on the hour every single hour, bringing you up to speed with the latest happening in your world from our team of reporters right across the globe. 6 News' Uncensored program is also set to return next year, featuring long-form, unedited, balanced interviews with the key newsmaker, including Australia's most prominent political figures.
We used to be a weekly news bulletin. Now we're able to bring you breaking news on all platforms 24/7, which is a huge initiative and a huge credit to the team.
Now, the team at GovCheck will also be seen in 2024, with Between Parks Place and Capitol Hill coming back for next year. Hosted by GovCheck editor Stuart Jeffrey, the program will continue to take deep dives into Australia's constitution, legal system and government, and so much more. Now, 2024 is set to be a massive year for elections, with elections in Queensland, the Northern Territory and the ACT, as well as local government elections across parts of Australia. 6 News will have special coverage on election nights and in the lead up with exclusive stories and interviews you won't see anywhere else.
Local elections aren't something you get much coverage of, so next year, in addition to those state and overseas elections, we'll be bringing you that live coverage and keeping you informed about exactly what's going on in the community in those local elections right across the country.
And with the United States set to decide on who will be their next president in 2024, 6 News will continue to provide special coverage on these events. Plus, of course, we will continue to bring you breaking news and exclusive stories across all our platforms in 2024.
And that is 6 News for now. You can stay up to date by heading to our website and following us on social media at SIXNewsAU. News is on the hour every hour here on 6 News. For now, though, I'm Leonardo Puglisi. Thanks for your company. Good night.